Core system login in progress. Access granted.
Back in Unity, I am going to go to basic parts. I'm going to hit new part. I'm going to rename the new part lower half. Yay! Actually, that is absolutely wrong, isn't it? I'm going to select basic parts, right click on it, click create empty. I'm going to name it lower half. I'm going to name my lower half side 0. Or actually, we can go ahead and call it lower half side 0. Drag it onto the lower half's game object. Now, I want to clear all my meshes. So go to basic parts and just clear them. I'm going down here with the LH side 0 selected. I'm going to go ahead and set its neighbor to 0. I'm going to go to my models, and they're just all in here. Go ahead and, when you work on this on your own, go ahead and separate them up into multiple meshes. So I'm going to drag, but for now on the tutorial, we'll keep them together. I'm dragging dev up to here. And I'm going to say collect all and deselect all. And I want LH side 0 right there. And bam, there it is. Not very fabulous. I'm going to duplicate it, rename the duplicate to side 1. Up here on the neighbors, I'm going to change it to side 1. And I'm just going to change the selection. Bam. And that should have. There we go. I'm going to duplicate it, rename it side 2. Over here, I'm going to do the same thing. Change neighbor to neighbor 2. And there we go. All right, not rocket science. That's okay. Just go around and do all of our sides. Get everything down here. And now one more LH flat top. And it is side 6. Oh no, I forgot to move it down. Dang me. So once everything's in here, once we've imported it, we can go back and refresh just one. So I moved the lower half's bottom up, but I forgot to move the upper half's flat top. No, that looks like it's moved. Hold on, what's going on here? What are you doing to me? You're right there. And everything is correct. Oh, I did flat top, my bad. I want LH flat top. Where are you? Right there. It's right in front of my face. There it goes. But we can go back to Blender and just update a single piece and export it. So this is now got all the information it needs. It doesn't, unless we change its source model over here, we don't have to worry. We can totally leave it alone and it's good to go. So there's our lower half. Let's just duplicate it and rename the other one upper half. Now, I do not want to go down and rename all these. I'm a lazy person. Go to Scripts, Common, and right click in there and create a new script called Utilities. I do not like to manually rename all this stuff. So just hold on one second here. Let me find my utilities. And it's a really, makes me feel horrible. But in our utilities file, we want two strings. Just absolute horrendousness. Delete these two. Public void do replace. And I do this child count because if you're working in the editor and you delete a transform, it automatically, as you're looping through the transform child counts, it acts different than it does when it's running. So I've just gotten the habit of getting the count of the transform child count first in doing my loop. Alrighty, and we've got to create an editor for that. So under the editors folder, create a new folder called Common. Open it up, right click inside the new folder and create a new script called Utilities Editor. Thank you so much. And just bring it up. I actually named this utility before. And that's our nice little convenience function. Return over here, select upper half, add component, utilities, replace what? LH, replace with UH, do replace, everything's replaced, remove utilities. And that's pretty much that part. But now we have to, well, UH flat top becomes US flat bottom. Let's see here. Now, there we go. And yeah, it should be halfway up. So UH side 0, or should, well, LH side 0 should become UH side 0. And remember to re-import our sides. Should, well, flat bottom needs to be side 7 now. Come think of it. Alrighty, now we're going back to our mesh library and do a refresh. On basic parts, also do a refresh so we get everything. Everything's good. And now all of our indexes are good. Go down to shapes, say new shape. Rename our new shape lower half. Drag the lower half on top of it and take those parts. Really don't need that. With lower half still selected, expand the parts and enlarge that to 8. And this one needs a top, so go to full and drag flat top onto that new spot at the very bottom. Wait a minute, no, this is lower half flat top, my mistake. Drag flat bottom to that last spot, that new spot. And we now have a new shape. Go to base shapes again, new shape. Rename this one upper half. And on it, drag upper half to take parts. Take the parts. Enlarge its size to 8. And for this one, since this is the upper half, it will have the standard flat bottom. And drag that to spot number 6. You don't have to, but I like to keep them in order. That's just me. Go up to Mesh Library. Well, go to Base Shapes. Refresh Shapes. So we get them. I guess I should be refreshing the shapes in the new shape. Go up to Mesh Library. Refresh Prefab to add them in. Go to Basic Parts, and refresh Opposites. And now we have a lot more to do. Go to Side 0. Go down to Opposite Parts. Get the editor window. So side 0, when it is opposite lower half, it will have the upper half side 0. And when it's opposite upper half, it will have the lower half side 0. I really advise you to spend a few days building a selector for these because this is really mundane or tedious. Once again, lower half gets the upper half. Upper half gets the lower half. Same side. Lower half gets the upper half. Upper half gets the lower half. Lower half gets the upper half. Upper half. I'm going to quit doing that. It's annoying me. Okay, and now for our flat top against the lower half is nothing, but the upper half doesn't come anywhere near it. For the flat bottom, the lower half comes nowhere near it, but the upper half gets nothing. On the lower half side, against the full is nothing. Against the lower half is nothing, but the upper half doesn't touch it. And that remains the same for all of our sides on the lower half, all the side sides. Now, since it is the lower half, the flat top will not be blocked by anything. Just the way it is. Nothing comes close to it. So go up here to upper half. Full blocks it and the upper half blocks it. So it's none and then none on the last one. And once again, the flat bottom doesn't touch it. It doesn't get touched. Nothing can touch it. It's always going to be there. And our shape numbers are, of course, 0, 1, 2, 3. So, jump to our scene, hexagon, and let's test.
Access granted.
Let's go ahead and expand our window, select HSLab 1, play. Everything's good right now, but we're still just doing the fulls. Okay, stop, go to character camera, and slow that camera down. Run again. Of course, you can just manually set the Y instead of doing the slow up and down. Let's see here. With HSLab selected, go to play mode. Ain't worried about that. Down here, oh, well, we have got to put, go ahead and put our preview material on here. But we've got to add a place around here to hold the shape that we're going to use. So go up to where we put our selected preset, and right below it, create another one. And now we're looking for wherever M shape is equal to 1. And we could just do a find and replace, since we were smart and done the M underscore. I want to see all of them just in case. Yeah, this is extremely redundant code. The 27-year-old in me is saying, that's great code. But the 50-year-old me is saying, that's horrible. Why is this so redundant? Alright, and I'm going to follow my own advice and drop that down to 8 on the Y on the character camera. Go to, and the sound effects are for free. What? Okay, because my selected shape is not there. So let's first of all test our normal shape. Now let's put a 2 in and see the magic. And let's put a 3 in. There it is. Okay, we didn't set our materials on the new shape, so they're both just dirt. But let's jump over to the scene view. We're just going to scroll around in here, and bam, it worked. No hidden faces. They're all using the correct code. And when you consider that if you have a Minecraft style limit view of 16 by 16, that's actually 32 by 32, 16 to every direction, 32 times 32. I mean, you're talking about a lot of chunks there. Just 1,024 chunks in your scene view that you can actually see. And if you're talking about Minecraft 256 height, that's 262,000. Well, no. Then we also got multiply it times 256 again, because there are 256 nuggets per level. That's 67,108,864 nuggets. And if 3/4 of those are not visible and you're still trying to draw them, yeah, you're getting a horrible frame rate. And it's not a surprise. So, But we're not, because we're either getting rid of them or cutting them down. We are not making that shader overwork. I love that metallic look. With all the low lights shining, it just looks like plastic. Actually, I hate it. Well, it's on albedo, that's why. Did not seem to change it a single bit, did it? See, the metallic is brighter up here. And of course, we still got our seams going on. But oh well. We'll get to it. Alright. Let's jump back over and let's go ahead and just edit our mesh library over here. We can do that. Go down to lower level, excuse me. Expand mat in S. And for element 6, enter a 1. And then on upper half, do the exact same thing. Because full show, which, okay, and on both of them, enter 2 for the element 7. Now go up to MeshLibrary and refresh it. And now we should get grass where we expect grass. And there we go. But I can actually feel that it's chunky because I have everything selected. It's much smoother when Unity isn't looping through everything. I love Unity's use of reflection, but also hate it. So we put that one up there. It's going to be a full chunk up there, but now we can't put anything in here, of course. And I can just, boom, I got steps now. Yeah. And we can do quarter sides and whatever we want. Whatever we want to do in Blender, we can do. Which is kind of like a duh. Okay, that's about it for this one. We will jump into some more shapes shortly. We're going to do a pillow top, and then we're going to jump into multiple chunks. But first, we got to change our editor a little bit. We've got to put memories. We need to start tracking our memory. Give us an estimate of how much RAM we're using. There's an easy way to do that. And then we're going to do a test publish just to see how this runs according to Xbox. According to Microsoft's Xbox tools that are included with Windows. If you're on another environment, there's a couple other options you can use. But if you're on Windows, you can use the built-in Xbox frame status tools to see how fast everything's running. But then we'll also increase our height. I don't advise that you go up to 256, since this really is for a map, more of a map scenario. Hexagons really are. I really can't think of a hexagon game which builds the mountains and stuff out of hexagons. But if that's what you really want to try, go ahead. We will increase our height, our map level height, just for the purpose of filling up RAM to test out our performance. And that's the end of this one. Our mesh library is finished for now. If you got something out of this, like and subscribe, and I will see you in the next video.